Hello everyone. First of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Fransiskus Biliam Andrea from International Management class, Universitas of Tanjung Pura, with student number B1024-2010-12. Right now, I would like to discuss about the first chapter of HRM. Let's just dive into it. The first discussion is about the organization, culture, and HR are related, and here's the four areas that are the part of the relationship. There's a four areas here. The first one is clan, hierarchy, adhocracy, and market. For the clan focus on mentorship and teamwork. For hierarchy, focus on structure and stability. The adhocracy focus on risk-taking and innovation. And for the last one, market, is focused on competition and growth. Okay, now we'll talk about organization ethical issues affect HR management. As we know, ethical issues affect HR management towards the strategic role of HR. Strategic role of HR is the way manager and HR professional influence the ethics of people in organization. How does ethics affect work? For individuals may aid in producing more positive work outcomes. Okay, next is about the 6 challenges that HR facing today. The first one is organization cost pressure. HR in the future will face with the search of way to minimize cost expenditures in each sector. The second one is economic and job changes. HR will be faced with economic development that have an impact on changes in employment in the company, ranging from the addition of new types of jobs and the movement of the majority workers from one business sector to another business sector. The third one is globalization of organization and HR. The globalization of business has shifted from trade and investment to the integration of global operation, management, and strategic alliance, which have significantly affected the management of human resource. For the fourth is workforce demographic and diversity. HR management is in organization has had to adapt to more varied labor force both externally and internally in effect of shift of demographic. This growing diversity and aging of workforce have raised employers' concern and means that HR is having to devote more time and effort to ensuring that non-discriminatory policy and practice are followed by the workers. Okay, the fifth is HR technology. HR technology, greater use of technology has led to organizational use of human resource management system or HRMS, which is an integrated system providing information and making HR decision, not just building database and using technology. HR decision also make a primary reason for complying data in the information system. The last one or sixth one is measuring HR impact through metrics. HR has to become more analytic and develop metrics that measure the HR effort. It has had to develop measurement of its result, including financial, in order to justify its activities. Okay, now I will explain about how the major role of HR management are being transformed. So here is the 2 major roles of HR management. The first one is being administrative. The second is operational and employees advocate. Let's just dive into the administrative first. So administrative transform based on 2 majors. The first one is technology. The second is outscoring. Technologies is being used in most HR activities, from employment application and employee benefit enrollment to e-learning using internet-based research. And for outscoring, HR functions are outscored to save money on HR staffing, to take advantage of specialized vendor expertise and technology, and to be able to focus on more strategic HR activities. Now we will go to operational and employee advocate. HR play a role as the employee advocate in organization, which help ensure fair and equitable treatment for employees regardless of personal background or circumstances in employee and advocacy. The operational role also requires HR professionals to cooperate with various departmental and operating managers and supervisors to identify and implement needed programs and policy in the organization. Okay, I missed the third one. There is three major actually. It is strategic for the last one. So HR is involved in devising strategy in addition to implementing strategy. Here's some explain of the areas. The first one is evaluating mergers and acquisition for organization compatibility, structure change, and staffing needs. The second is conducting workforce planning to anticipate the retirement of employees at all levels and identify workforce expansion in organization strategic plans. The third one is leading site selection efforts for new facilities or transferring operation to international outscoring location based on workforce needs. The fourth is instituting a HR management system to reduce administrative time, equipment, and staff by using HR technology. The fifth is working with executive to develop a revised sales compensation and incentive plan as the new products and services are rolled out to customers. Now, for next, I will discuss about the key competencies needed by HR professional and why certification is important. So there is three key competencies. The first one is strategic knowledge and impact means. The second is legal, administrative, and operational capabilities. The third is technology, knowledge, and usage abilities. Okay, so why certification is important? Certification is important because HR professional may need to considerable knowledge about the employment regulation, finance, tax, law, statistic, and information system. In most cases, they also need extensive knowledge about the specific HR activities. The broad range of issues faced by HR professional has made involvement in professional association and organization important. So HR must be able to certify that she or he have the knowledge and competences needed in the profession. Okay, next is about the core competencies in possible HR area. So there is 4 areas of possible HR that as the core competencies. The first one is the area of productivity. HR help organization to create a culture that emphasize effectiveness and productivity in performing organization work. The second is quality and service. HR focus on instilling mindset to manager and employees to focus on customer and product quality that contribute significantly to achieving organization goal and maintaining a competitive advantage. The third is employee skills. HR ways to improve employee skills start with the orientation of new employees, talent management, and development, including different types of training. Also, HR development and succession planning of employees and managers is necessary to prepare for future challenges. Career planning identifies paths and activities for individual employees as they move within the organization. For the last one is innovative operation. HR help research and development division to create an innovative operation. Okay, next is about the difference between human capital and human resource. So, human capital can be reversed as the value that is added to the company by an employee, while human resources are the pool of available human skills, knowledge, and expertise which can be drawn and developed when required. Okay, now we will explain about the human resource function. There is 2 human resource functions. The first one is strategic HR management. HR must be able to maintain organization competitiveness, strategic planning for HR effectiveness, and it can be increased through the use of HR metrics and HR technology. The second one is equal employment opportunity. HR must be able to implement compliance with Equal Employment Opportunity or EEO laws and regulation that will affect all other HR activities. The third one is staffing. HR planning on staffing will help managers to anticipate the future supply and demand for employees and the nature of workforce issues, including the retention of employees. The fourth one is talent management and development. Beginning with the orientation of new employees, talent management and development, which include types of training, also HR development and succession planning of employees manager is necessary to prepare for the future challenges. Career planning identifies paths and activities for individual employees as they move within the organization. Assessing how well employees perform their job is the focus of performance management. And then next is total reward for the fourth. HR must be able to make a system of reward for their employees, so which perform organization work. It can be in the form of pay, incentive, and benefits for the workers. Okay, for the sixth is risk management and worker protection. Employees must address various workplace risks to ensure protection of workers by meeting legal requirements and being more responsive to concern for workforce place and health and safety. Also, workplace security has grown in importance along with disaster and recovery planning. The last one, or the seventh one, is employees and labor relation. It is important to develop, communicate, and update HR policies and procedures so that manager and employees can build a healthy and trustworthy relationship between both of them. Okay, next I will explain about the HR management contributing role. HRM contributing role consists of four things, namely organizational culture. HR contributes to instilling organization culture to employees by teaching the value of HR values, establishing organizational culture as a trigger for improving employees' performance, and adjusting organizational culture by paying attention to difference in the cultural dimension of each country. The second is organizational productivity. HR help organizations to create a culture that emphasizes effectiveness and productivity in performing organizational work. The third one is social responsibility. Part of HR management is to ensure that social responsibility is integrated into the organizational culture. Both explicit and implicit requirements are needed. The explicit requirement includes specific regulation, policies, and training. The implicit one aid the organizational culture in encouraging appropriate organization behavior when dealing with customer, supplier, employees, and others. The last one is employee engagement. HRM contribute in employees' engagement, which is the extent to which individual feels linked to organization success and how the organization perform positively in order to increase the employee productivity. Okay, next, what is organizational productivity and what kind of approach that can be used to improve the organizational productivity? Organizational productivity is a measure of quantity and quality of the work done, considering the cost of the resource used for organizational purpose. Okay, there is four kind of approach that used to improve organizational productivity. The first one is organizational restructuring, which involve eliminating layers of management and changing reporting relationship, as well as cutting staff through downsizing, lays off, and early retirement buyout program. That has become a concern in a number of industries as economic factors have changed. The second is redesigning work, often involve having fewer employees who work longer hours and perform multiple job tasks. It may also involve replacing workers with capital equipment or making them more efficient by use of technology or new process. The third is aligning HR activities, which means making HR effort consist with organizational efforts to improve productivity. This alignment includes ensuring that HR functions are not working against productivity. Okay, the fourth one is outscoring. Outscoring analysis involve HR in conducting cost-benefit analysis to justify outscoring. Additional factor may include negotiating with outscoring vendors, ensuring that contractors domestically and internationally are operating legally and appropriately, and linking organizational employees to the employees of the outscoring firm. Okay, the 15th or the next one is growing green in HR. So what is growing green in HR means? HR is implementing HR management. HR management will have an increasingly green role in both large and small companies. Growing green program can result in a reduced operational costs linked to HR policies and on recycling, creating less waste and pollution, reducing light and power usage, and many other means. It also has positive effect on attracting, retaining, motivating workers. Green and green programs also may create more jobs for employees on environmental specialists. Okay, now I would like to tell you about the customer service and quality linked to HR. HR focus on initially mindset to managers and employees to focus on customer and product quality that contribute significantly to achieving organizational goals, which is gaining profit and maintaining a competitive advantage. Because customer often consider a quantity of customer service representative as important when making a market and sales decision. Okay, then I would like to talk about employees engagement and HR culture. Employees engagement is the extent to which individual feels linked to organizational success and how the organization perform positively. Engagement of employees is a crucial goal and linked to an effective organizational culture and HR role in it. Then then we will talk about social networking and engagement. The use of social network online in an organization can aid in recruiting new employees. Use of various types of technology can lead to restructuring and recruiting more people, as well as reducing recruiting costs. Now, I will explain about the relationship between business ethic and HR management consequences. So, HRM function promote positive and constructive behavior and justice, thus positively affect organizational performance. But if the ethic of doing job or business not implemented right, HR management consequences will take the part as a result as an act of business ethic violation. Okay, now I will explain about what is talent management and development. Talent management is a crucial thing. It involves attracting, recruiting, and hiring qualified talented individuals, or training and developing employees for current and future jobs. And broad focus on HR professional is on talent management and development to address the workforce and job changes. Now, next, I will explain to you why that I'm agreed on the statement that said greater use of HR technology are affecting how HR activities are performed in many ways. Okay, so I agree with this statement because firms use technologies to their employees, which can get lots of benefits. If firms provide a web-based employees self-service program to their worldwide staff, employees can go online to access and change their personal data, enroll in or change benefit program, and prepare for performance reviews. Now, if there is a person ask me how do I manage HR in organization, I will say, as an organization grows, often a clerical employees is added to handle payroll, benefits, and required HR recording keeping. New employees are hired. Supervisor and manager usually do a recruiting, selecting, and training. These HR activities reduce the time that supervisor and manager have to focus on operation, sales and marketing, accounting, and other business areas. Thus, for both small and large employees, business, Numerous HR activities are being outsourced to specialized vendors. Typically, at 18 to 100 employees, an organization will need to design a system that designate a person to specialize in HR management. Other HR jobs are added as the company gets larger and as HR technology increasingly becoming available for small and medium-sized organizations. Okay, now I will talk about the several areas in which HR can affect organizational culture positively or negatively. The absence of workplace safety policies and procedure result in environment where employees may feel threatened, which in turn negatively affect productivity and our organizational culture. Here's the several areas that need to be mentioned. The first one is employees relation. Employees relation is an HR discipline that can affect the organization depending on the way HR staff interact with the company workers and leadership. The second is compensation. Organizational culture may become main key for the job seeker through the online and offline community. Compensation is the key to attract a new employee, but it also can give a negative result if we don't pay the workers right. Okay, the third one is workplace safety. Employees have an obligation to provide workers with a safe, hazard-free work environment. The absence of workplace safety policies and procedures result in an environment where employees may feel threatened, which in turn negatively affect productivity and our organizational culture. Then the fourth is effective leadership. In addition to HR, supervisor and managers sustain a positive organizational culture through effective leadership. Delegating responsibility based on employees' skills and interests and recognizing employees' contribution to the part and the organization are tenets of effective leadership. Supervisor and manager who communicate openly with their employees provide constructive feedback and coach worker and for the fundamental to a positive workplace culture. HR provides leadership skill training to supervisor and manager to ensure that they're capable of managing their department function and their employee. Now I would like to give some example of ethical issues that have been experienced in job and how HR may solve it. Okay, example of ethical issues that I've experienced is the conflict of interest and excessive loyalty. So HR helped in solving my problems by using ethical practices, justice, and fairness as a problem-solving benchmark. Okay. Now is the importance for HR management to transform from being primarily administrative and operational to becoming a more strategic contributor. Humans need rapidly change within and without the workplace due to environment, technology, and organizational change. HRM department can help in dealing with such dynamic and emerging matter by approaching the situation strategically rather than operational and administrative. Okay. The Human Resource Management Division should be in the front line to assist the member in adjusting to the change in meeting the objective of the organization. The presumption that the basic knowledge from education or experience is enough for task performance may not apply throughout. For instance, employees need to be trained so that they can adjust to new technologies and production techniques. Thus, prior knowledge may not apply in new working environment. Okay, now we will talk about what legislative act promoted by many US companies to develop internal ethical policies and procedure. The answer is Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. And next, we will talk about the key concept related to the business ethics that should be considered in the development of the ethics training program. The first key is business value. Understanding of business value needs to be instilled in the mind of workers so that there is no deviation in business goal. The second is moral principle. Workers need to be knowing about the moral principle of every action, because every action that they take, they need to consider the moral principle first. Okay, the third is ethical practice. Ethical practice are important to prepare workers in the face of problem in designing of the day related to the business ethic. Okay. Next, the integration of HR with the organizational culture contribute to the success of Google, Scripps, and UPS. And here's why. For Google, the overriding key of HR at Google is emphasis on organizational culture and business objective. The focus on Google HR is on giving its employee flexibility to produce results, not just following core job requirements. For the Scripps network, there is variety of organization and strong culture. At Scripps, HR play as a core role in establishing strategic goals and effort. Even when Scripps has merged separate media firm, HR has focused on getting the culture of the two entities to integrate effectively. Several HR functions are used to support the culture and core value at Scripps, such as paying for performance system to reward employees and give incentive and long-term incentive to them. For the UPS have been recognized for its corporate integrity, culture, and HR inclusion with employees. UPS emphasized linking HR with business objectives and using communication and internet program to ensure that employees are kept constantly informed on business objectives and workforce challenges. Okay, now how some of the cultural facets mentioned compared to those among employers that have worked for certain company may be different. This is why there are a variety of cultural facets that were mentioned in the above before, except that can compare to employees in several companies. On the UPS, cultural facet was code of conduct. This can be compared to a job in the EMCA. EMCA too had a code of conduct that has a worker has to follow, and the worker was constantly reminded of it as the well at work. Another cultural facet that comparative to EMCA was Google's approach to give its employee flexibility to produce results, not just following the core job requirement, as I said before. This contrasts with EMCA and contrasts with most recent job as a server at Margatialaville. Margatialaville, they are extremely flexible to produce results, whereas at EMCA, everything was strictly by the book and the core job requirements, so it's not flexible. Okay, everyone, thank you for listening of me since the first until now. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Thank you.